In this video, we're going to introduce the summarize and group by functions in the dplyr package. And the summarize function, or both these functions, will be very handy for starting to calculate cumulative statistics, average, medians, and so on. But we're just going to use it as a simple query. We're going to look at the batting data frame and just answer the question, which league, American or national, had the most home runs in 2021? And there would be different ways to answer. We'd use different data sets, different data frames to answer this question. But I'm going to use the batting table from the Lumen database. So I'm going to use my read CSV command to read batting into a data frame called batting. Here I've got the directory where batting is stored. So I'm going to hit Control Enter and load batting. And as we know, batting's a big data frame. It's got 110,000 observations back to the 1800s. Well, in this case, I am just interested in 2021. So let's answer the question. So we're going to start with batting. We're going to use our pipe operator, Control-Shift-M. We want to filter, so one of our dplyr commands, filter for year ID equals 2021. Then I'm going to hit Control-Shift-M. I'm going to group by league ID. So that's going to be for 2021, that's just going to be AL or NL. Control-Shift-M, that's my pipe operator. I'm going to use my summarize function, which, like I said, is very powerful. And I'm going to create a variable called, let's call it sum home run. I could just call it HR. I could really name it anything I want, which is going to be the sum. So sum is a sort of, think of it as a sub-function of summarize. I could use mean, median. I could use a lot of things here with summarize. But for now, I'm just going to use sum, and I'm going to sum up home runs. So if we think about what this is going to do, it's going to take batting. It's going to delete out all the observations that aren't 2021. It's going to put into two groups, American League and National League, and it's going to sum the home run variable for each of the two categories. So let's run that. I think I'm going to get an error, and I do get an error because it could not find the function there. So that means I haven't loaded the tidyverse. If it can't find the pipe operator, I haven't loaded the tidyverse. So we'll go up and hit Control Enter to load the tidyverse. Let's try it again. I think I have one more error here. It doesn't it's a problem with my filter. And so when I filter, I need the double equal sign for 2021. We could go into more detail about that. But a lot of times when you get that error, it's because you don't have the double equal sign. So let's hit Control Enter to run everything again. Right. So any time I'm in a set of commands that are piped together, I can go to the last line, second line, first line, whatever. Control Enter is going to run that whole sequence for me. Then I look down at the console and I see that the American League had 3,059 home runs. National League had 2,885. So not surprising, 2021 was still a year where we had pitchers hitting in the National League, at least for the first few innings before they, fourth or fifth inning before they got pulled. So it's not surprising that we see a big difference. It will be more interesting to look at next summer when we look at 2021, where both leagues are using a designated hitter for the pitcher. So sum it up, our summarize function will take whatever I've grouped by summarized home runs. Let's do one more example here, and let's take batting, and let's, again, we'll filter by let's filter by year ID greater than 2021. And I want to figure out what teams have hit the most home runs over this period. So we'll hit our pipe operator, and we want to know in the 2000s. Oh, sorry, let's say this. Let's filter for the year greater than 2000. So let's get just this century. We're going to group by team ID. There we go. And we'll do the same thing. We'll summarize, and our sum home run is going to be the sum of the home runs. So it's going to add the Reds home runs for 2001, 2002, and so on. And since we're going to have a lot more than 2 groups, let's enter our pipe operator, and we'll arrange by sum HR. So they'll give us from the lowest number to the highest number. And it does, I got an X, I got an error message here. And I must have some, looks like I got a character out here that I need to delete. Now everything looks good. I'm going to hit Control Enter, and notice Montreal had the lowest. Anaheim, which is changed, it's now a different name, and so on. So let's do this. Let's arrange. So it's a lot of times it won't print everything. So one of the things that I can do is use the head command, and it looks like there are about 33 teams. So we'll just have it give us the 33 teams, and let's arrange by descending home runs, so we get the teams that have had the most at the top. And there we go. Control Enter, and so there we go at the top. The team with the most is the New York Yankees, Rangers, Blue Jays, and so on. So a lot of the teams you would expect. There's Cincinnati there at 7, so that's a nice one to see. So if I want them to all print, I need to add another command, print 33. So there we go. Sorry, not print 33, print n equals 33. And there we go. Well, there's Montreal that had the fewest, not surprising because it wasn't in existence very long. The Angels, which changed names, and so on.